Alright, so day 3 we're talking about inequalities and triangles. I'm going to show you the official way first, and then we'll go through and do a little shortcut. This part should not be something new that you've seen. We've done this before, especially in Algebra 1. So, solving inequalities. You will solve as you would a regular equation. However, when you multiply or divide by a negative number, you must remember to do what? What happens to your sign? Yeah, you flip it. You must remember to flip the inequality sign. So an inequality sign is like less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. Let's look at my first example. Example 1 says solve for x. We have negative x divided by 3 is less than or equal to 11. What do I do if I want to get x by itself?
You have to do like the opposite, like you got times negative 3 to...
Good. So as of now, I'm dividing negative 3, but I want to do the opposite, which means I'm going to multiply by negative 3. We also call that reciprocal. So we're going to multiply by negative 3 on each side, so that my negative 3's cancel out. On the left side, I'm just left with x. What happens to my side, my sign? We're going to flip it. And then 11 times negative 3? Negative 33. And that's my answer. I'm solving like a normal equation. It's just I have an inequality, so I have to flip my signs. For example 2, I'm still trying to get x by itself. What needs to move away from x first? Will it be the positive 8 or the negative 2? Alright, so how do I get rid of that positive 8? Good, we're going to subtract 8 from each side. So I'm left with negative 2x is greater than 16. Do you guys recognize that because I'm just subtracting, I don't flip my sign there? Okay, only when I multiply and divide do I flip my sign. Ashley, how do I solve for x here? Good, we're going to divide both sides by negative 2. And I'm left with x. What happens to my sign? It flips. So instead of being greater than, it's now less than. So x is less than, and 16 divided by negative 2? Negative 8. Okay? This is ringing a bell for you guys? Hopefully. So compound inequalities means that it consists of two inequalities. They are joined by the words and or the word or. I know that looks weird, but what that means is when we have a compound inequality, compound means that I have the x in between both of the inequality signs. If it says or, then you'll see where it says something is greater than or equal to or less than or equal to a number or something different, which means we will have two equations. We always have two equations. So if you look at this example, I tried to space mine out a little bit. So mine is over here. Your numbers are a little bit closer to the words. So if you want to just rewrite it over, you can on the right side. But it says negative 7. And then you have your, actually, let's start. We always start in the middle. So we have negative z minus 1 is greater than negative 7, and then negative z minus 1 is less than 3. I always start in the middle, and then I move outwards when I'm reading these problems. So if I want to start in the middle and I have negative z minus 1, what do I want to get rid of first? The minus 1. How do I get rid of minus 1? Yeah, we're gonna add one. When we add one in the compound inequality, I'm adding one to everything. That means I add it to the middle so you cancel out. I add it to the left of my side and the right of my side. So -7 plus 1 gives me what? -6. I'm going to rewrite my sign. I'm left with -z in the middle. And then 3 plus 1 is 4. Now, I don't have z by itself. What do I do to get rid of this negative? Good. We're going to divide by -1 on all sides. So from left to right, what's -6 divided by -1? +6. What happens to my sign? It flips when I divide by a negative. I'm left with z. My sign flips again. And what is 4 divided by -1? -4. Good. Okay. Technically, I would write this over because we always want our smaller number on the left side and the bigger number on the right side. But what this says is that z is greater than -4 and z is less than +6. So this is our compound inequality. It's compounded because my variable is in the middle. All right, let's do my last example on the first page. Example 4. I have 3x minus 8 is greater than 25 and is less than 52. What should I get rid of first in this equation?
The -3.
Yeah, we always start in the middle. So if I'm starting in the middle, my options are 3 and then -8. I'm going to get rid of that -8 by adding 8 to all 3 sides. So I'm left with, what's 25 plus 8?
33.
I'm left with 33. My inequality sign. I still have 3x in the middle. Inequality sign. And then 60, because 62 plus 8. All right, so now what am I left with here? How do I solve for x? Divide by 3 on all sides, right? Don't forget. Everything gets a division by 3. In the middle, it cancels out. Are my signs going to flip or anything? No. So I'm just going to rewrite. X is greater than, what's 33 divided by 3? 11. And then x is less than, what's 60 divided by 3? So that means that x is greater than 11 but less than 20. Okay? We have to do this so that when we have a triangle, I can figure out what my third side is. However, I'm going to teach you a shortcut so that you hopefully can see that a little bit easier. Let's turn the page. This is the new stuff. And that first page is just kind of like the Algebra 1 recap. All right, so using inequalities in 1 and 2 triangles, there are 2 concepts. We have a longer side concept and a larger angle concept. Both of these go hand in hand, okay? So let's take a look at the longer side concept. Do you guys see how I have AB, which they labeled 8, and then I have BC, which they labeled 5. Which number is bigger, 8 or 5? The 8 is bigger. Circle the 8. What this means is to figure out which angle is bigger, we base it off of the side. So if this side is bigger, which angle is directly across from that wrong side? Angle C. Okay, so that means that with my side of 5, which angle is going to be small? A. So what I want you guys to write is angle C is larger than angle A. So typically when we're talking about sides, it's in length. So we're saying longer, shorter. When we talk about angles, it's size, so we're talking larger, smaller. If you wrote on your test, angle C is longer than angle A, I would not be that picky and take off that. It just sounds weird, because an angle can't be longer than another angle. But what we're doing is we're taking the opposite side. Your sides point to the angles point to the sides. So take a look at the larger angle concept. We have 50 degrees and 30 degrees that's labeled, right? We're going to change this up a little bit. All right, if I have two angles, I have a third angle, right? That's like my rule of thumb. If I have two, I can always figure out what that third angle is. There's how many total degrees inside of a triangle? Guys, that's our magic number.
180.
Okay, 180. So let's do 180 minus 50 minus 30. What's this missing angle here? 80. Wait, what? What's my missing angle?
Oh, gee.
100, right?
Yeah.
Huh? Because if I have 180 minus 50 minus 30, I'm left with 100, which is my missing angle. Okay? So we found our missing angle. Now we're going to see which side is going to be longer. What's my biggest angle here? The 100. Do we all agree that's our biggest angle? So if I circle angle B, what side is directly across from it? What side is that? AC. Okay, so now what is my smallest angle? 30. If I circle 30, what side does that associate with? AB. So for this one, you could write that AC, side AC is longer than side AB, or you could write BC. You can choose either the 30-degree angle or the 50-degree angle. It really doesn't matter. Either way works. Okay. Okay, so we're going to practice this a little more. What I want you guys to be doing on your paper is circling and drawing arrows just so you can see it better. All right, it says list the sides of triangle RST in order from shortest to longest. I want you guys to underline this. You have to read your directions because your directions tell you what to do. If you did this correctly but did the longest side to the shortest side, then it's going to be wrong. Alright, so in order to list the sides, I need to look at my angles. I have 29 degrees, 121 degrees, and 30 degrees. What is my biggest angle? Sorry, my smallest angle. We're going shortest to longest. Well, my shortest angle is the 29, right? So what side is the shortest? ST. Does that make sense how we just did that? We're finding the smallest angle that points to our shortest side. So ST is definitely the smallest because it's right across from 29. Does that make sense, Joseph? You look confused. Out of these three angles, 121, 29, and 30, which one is the smallest number? 29. So that means that this side, out of these three sides, is going to be the shortest. because it's always directly opposite of your number. Okay? So which number is next? 121 or 30? Which one's smaller? 30. If I circle 30, what is directly across from that angle? RS. Or you can write SR, same thing. Alright, my longest side is going to be what? RT. I know that because it's directly across from my largest angle. So RT is my longest side. So I just went from shortest side to longest side, all because I know it's based on my angles. If I were you, I would circle them and draw an angle directly across. We'll practice that more like in a second when we do our class work. Let's look at your triangle inequality theorem. This theorem says the sum of the lengths of any two sides of a triangle is greater than the length of the third side. I would probably almost never say this, but based on this figure, which one looks like it's the longest side? AC. So what that means is that we're going to write, I want AB plus BC. Let's write side AB plus side BC is going to be greater than side AC. In order for it to be a triangle, your two smallest sides have to be larger than the last side. All right, for the sake of not going too far out of control, look at example 3. So we're going to skip example 2. Okay, skip this for a second. Let's go to example 3. So just like what we just said, which side is my biggest side between 1, 2, and 3? 3, right? That's the biggest number. What I want you guys to do is just rewrite these numbers. 1, 2, and 3. What I want to do is I want my first two sides to add up to be larger than my third side. Write that part down. 1 plus 2 is greater than 3. Now let's solve. What's 1 plus 2? Is 3 greater than 3? No. 3 is equal to 3. So that means that these three numbers cannot make a triangle. All right, look at letter B. I have 2, 2, and 3. So that means I have 2, 2, and 3. I want my first two numbers to add up to be larger than my third side. If that is true, then it is a triangle. What's 2 plus 2? Okay. Yeah. All right, 2 plus 2 is 4. Is 4 greater than 3? Yes, so that means that these numbers can form a triangle. That's like just on your quiz that you just had. We had 2, 2, and 3. That means that that could be a triangle. Because 2 plus 2, your two smaller sides are bigger than the last side. All right, let's go backwards. Let's go to example 2. It says a triangle has one side length of 12 and another length of 8. Find the possible lengths of the third side. And you guys, all right, you don't have a picture, so I'm going to draw one. All right, and it's not drawn to scale, but we're just trying to figure out what that last side could be. So let's say this is 12, this is 8, this is X. I have no idea what that side is. Because it says the triangle has one side of 12, another of 8. We're trying to figure out what could that possible third side be. No, because only angles equal 180. Okay, everyone pay attention. Instead of doing an inequality like we did on the first page, we're gonna make this simpler. Okay, to figure out what could go here, I'm going to add these two numbers and I'm going to subtract these two numbers. We always do big from little. I should never have a negative side. That doesn't make sense. What is 12 minus 8? 4. What's 12 plus 8? 20. Do you guys know where these numbers are coming from? The 12 was our one side, our 8 was the other. So all I did was I subtracted them, and then I added them. That means your value of x, write that down. X can be greater than something, and x can be less than something. Which number should go first, 4 or 20? 4, that's my smallest number. So that means x is greater than 4, or x is what? Less than 20. So instead of us doing an inequality, which I think is a little bit harder, we're going to do a shortcut. They ask for a third side. We subtract both numbers, we add both numbers. Always choose your big number from your small number. So that's your answer. This extra side over here could be 4, or sorry, it could be between 4 and 20 for it to be a triangle. All right, let's do the last example, example 4. Now here it says describe the possible values of x. The same thing, but we're going to do it the official way. So I have one side that's 11, one side that's 13, and the last side that is x plus 7. What is my unknown? The x plus 7, right? Let's put that right in the middle. All right, so we're going to say x plus 7 is greater than something, and x plus 7 is less than something. Which number should go on the left side, 11 or 13? 11, that's my smaller number. So 13 goes on this side. How would I solve for x here with an inequality?
Minus 7.
We're going to subtract 7. What's 11 minus 7? 4. Which is, and I just keep my signs the same. 13 minus 7. 8. Wait. 6. So that means that my x can be greater than 4 or less than 6. You will not have one like this on your test, but I want you to at least be able to recognize it. On your test, you will have, there'll be problems that you're able to just fill in by subtracting both numbers and adding both numbers. All right, turn to your homework C really quickly. We're going to go over some problems. All right, everyone see number 1? All right, I'm going to draw that one for a second. Read your directions and highlight what's important there. There are some words there that we definitely need to know. All right, your directions tell you list the sides and the angles. I want you to write sides and angles. What order should we be listing them? Largest to smallest. Make sure you underline that. That's important. When we're listing sides, guys, make sure that you're not putting an angle degree in for sides. Okay? Angles have to have degrees. Everything else is just regular numbers or letters. All right, let's take a look here. We're going from largest to smallest. In order to do my longest side, I'm basing it off my largest angle. What is my largest angle? So 112, what side is directly across from it? That's Z, so we're gonna write Z, that's my longest side. All right, what comes next? This is number 1. All right, which one is next, 36 or 32 degrees?
36.
36, what side is across from that?
YZ.
YZ, that's my second one. So I'm gonna write YZ. And then my third side is the last one, which is XY. So I listed all my sides. Based on my angles, which one is the largest angle? Remember, your angles are just labeled by one letter here. X, Y, and Z. Which one's the largest?
Oh,
Just Y, right?
wow.
Angle Y. That's what you'll write down on your paper. If you guys just put letters, that means nothing to me. Make sure you're labeling whether it's a side or an angle by your notation. Which one's next? X or Z?
Right.
Angle X. And the last one? Angle Z. All right, on numbers 2 and 3, they're asking you, could this be a triangle? You add the first two, see if they're greater than the last number. If it is, then you write yes. If it's not, you write no. Number 4, describe the possible lengths, 3 meters and 4 meters. We're trying to see what could that third side be. Add your numbers together, subtract your numbers from each other. 6 through 8, you're comparing sides based on your angles, just like we did here. Number 12, you guys can circle. That is a freebie. If you do it, you get extra credit, but you don't have to do number 12. 9 through 11 is just basic algebra. Let's look at number 13 really quickly. A little off, but it's okay. So this number between W and X is 12, this is 15, and this is 14. All right, so I only drew half of the picture for number 13. But the first number says angle WXY. So on your paper you have WXY and angle XYW. All right, take a look at this. It's angle WXY, so we have WXY. Which one's in the middle?
15.
No, WXY, the X, right?
Yeah.
Which side is directly across from X?
31.
14, right? Angle WXY, what's completely opposite of that is 14. So write that small underneath. And then we have X, Y, W. Y is my vertex angle. What's directly across from angle Y? 12. All right, which inequality sign do I need? Greater than is this first angle bigger than the second angle?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what you're going to do is you're just going to write the greater than symbol. That's your answer. They're just asking you to decide whether it's greater than or equal to or less than. So compare your sides, see what angle is the biggest, and then you compare.